Right, so just get recording now. So Tiffany Van Soest, kickboxing royalty, the Glory Super Bantamweight champion. Really appreciate you taking time to come on Scrap Chats. First of all, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
Not bad at all. Just looking forward to talking to you, certainly before the big return. It's been some time since we last seen you. So before we jump into fights, you following the football? How are you feeling about Ajax the other day? Did you get a chance to watch the results?
I didn't, and I've been in training camp, so my life just revolves around that right now. And then on the outside of that, handling all my business and admin and stuff. So I kind of live in a little bit of a training camp cave right now.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't keep up, it was a 2-2 against Benfica. Really good result. Ajax looking very amazing right now. Did you get a chance to go to the games when you're off camp?
I would love to. I haven't been to one yet since I've been here, but now that I live in Amsterdam, it's I have to do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Amazing atmosphere. Nothing quite compares to it. So you're in Amsterdam now. Has that been something that's full time? Has that been going on a while, or have you just moved back there?
I moved here 6 months ago, and I'm here now. I wanted to train with the amazing, great Lucien Carbin. My last two fight camps I came out here to train with him, had great results. And, with results that great in short amounts of time, I wanted to see what would happen if I were to train with him every day and make it full time. Yeah. So we'll get a chance to see what that looks like on the 19th.
Yeah. And we know that kickboxing, certainly it's prominent across the world, but certainly based in Europe. Amsterdam has breeded a lot of great talents over the years now. Do you feel that there's been anything different since moving there? Like, do you feel like there's a different energy and you're picking up a lot of good tools to add to your arsenal? Has Amsterdam got something about it that doesn't quite compare to elsewhere?
Definitely. I'm a bit of a surfer girl and a beach bum. And now that I don't have that option, I spend a little bit more time in the gym because it's pretty much all I have to do now other than making art and paintings. But the level here is just, it's a different energy. It's a different intensity. The training style is a little bit different. And I have a renewed motivation and a renewed energy at this point in my career. I've traveled around the world. I've worked with a lot of different coaches all over the place. And I found the right fit here with Lucien in Amsterdam.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, this is going to be, as you said, it's been quite some time since you last fought. How have you dealt with that? Like, if you're just basing it on, you've had a chance to do a lot of other kind of arts, hobbies, if you will. Is it getting a bit too stagnant now based on the gaps between fights? Do you want to be a very, very active fighter at this stage of your career?
Absolutely. I'm not getting any younger. I've been in the game for a while. I've been a pro for a little over 10 years now.
Yeah.
I feel like as a woman and the way my body feels, I'm in my athletic prime. I feel like I'm faster and stronger than I've ever been. My mind is sharper than it's ever been. And now I've got a decade's worth of experience under my belt. And so I want to take full advantage of that. And I want to get in there as much as possible.
Yeah. And they do say that certainly at the age you're at, that's something you want to capitalize and be able to jump in and take full advantage of it. Now, another sharp thing I've noticed is your dress attire. I've seen you at the Glory Media Day. Quite the suit you had on. Where did you get the suit? Who created that?
De Oost bespoke tailor here in Amsterdam. De Oost. My Dutch is terrible, so sorry if I said it wrong. But Jean-Paul, he's a fantastic tailor, completely bespoke. He made a bunch of nice shirts for me also with he embroidered my tattoo on
Awesome.
it on the bottom of my shirt. So yeah, I'm styling and profiling, and I've been in the game for a long time, like as I said, and appearance and fashion and stuff. It's important, it's cool, it's fun, but it's never really been like, it's not my passion or anything. I enjoy it every once in a while, but I do understand that in this industry now, you have to look the part. I normally show up to my interviews and stuff in a hoodie and some jeans, do my makeup a little bit, but I haven't been in the ring for a year. I figured this is a huge fight, title defense. look good, feel good, so I wanted to show out a little bit.
Yeah, and you definitely done that. It was very cool, a very nice fit, if I don't say so myself. Now,
Thank
do you
you.
think that that's reflective on, like you said, you've hoodie, jeans, joggers? Most people, when you go to a conference, you want to be comfy as well.
Yeah.
Is that kind of reflective on your mindset, like looking into it? Like, are we going to get a very dangerous and determined Tiffany, but is it a more relaxed one at the same time, more content in yourself, that you're able to express yourself in that type of way?
Yeah, that's always been the case. And for a while, I've always liked to kind of play myself down a little bit to prove that, hey, you don't have to dress the part and show out. Like I could show up in hoodie and jeans and still whoop your ass and just be cool about it, and that's really more of my style, and I love to be comfortable. I mean, I was sweating so much in that suit and kind of adjusting and this and that. And like, so yeah, it's cool to look the part, really. And I felt like $1,000,000. But yeah, I like to be comfortable and unassuming, and then do my thing, do something incredible, and then go back to just being little old me. But it is also, the industry is also partly, there's some entertainment aspects to it, and I do understand that people will look at you differently and respect you differently if you're dressed differently, and which is kind of sad. It makes me a little annoyed, but
Yeah.
hey man, players got to play, so I'll play the game.
Players got to play, and it's something that transfers outside the sport. In every element, you've always got that kind of balance between what expectations are and how you should look and feel. But I'm going to jump into the fight, but I just want to quickly jump on another thing. So I noticed, I've been a follower you for many years. I've followed a lot of your career. The Tiffany Time Bomb art is something that I've seen, which I've not really seen elsewhere, certainly based on the way that your art's made and how it's done. So where did that come from? Because I've seen a lot of evidence of kicks, punches, elbows put down onto canvas. Was this something you always wanted to do? Because you've got a different vibe from a lot of fighters based on you're very open, very expressive, and I think the art was a really great way of blending two of your loves together. Is that something that was always going to happen, or did a little idea just come to mind?
The idea I actually had probably 7 years ago. And I didn't really get the opportunity to fully do it, let alone continue to do it and pursue it until the pandemic happened 2 years ago, when everybody went into that first real big lockdown. And I had the idea, and I tried it one time a few years after I had the initial idea. I just sat on it for a while, and it was a matter of having the time and getting the space, because not many gym owners would be too keen with me coming into the gym and, throwing paint around.
Yeah.
So, I did it one time in an old teammate's garage because he had a heavy bag in there, but, he's family, wife, and kids, so I couldn't keep bothering him to keep coming over and taking over his garage and making paintings. But so I did it one time. The idea just kept burning inside of my mind. And when I finally, had the time and the space to do it during the pandemic, I flew back from Bali, where I was living at the time, thinking I would only be there for a month. I went to my parents, and I figured if I'm going to be here for a month and I can't go to the gym, I might as well get a heavy bag. So we hung it up in the back, and I was like, oh, I can make my paintings here now. And that whole year, I just kept making paintings, and I kept it a secret from social media for the most part. And when I finally decided to post about it, I had somebody who wanted to buy right away. A friend of mine who's an art collector, and he recognized the value in me as a fighter, as a champion, the uniqueness of my art. He's a huge fight fan himself, and an art fan, and a collector. And he made me a really nice offer to be the first one to buy one of my pieces. And from then on, I had this huge vision where, I was going to sit on it for a while, and I was going to debut it in a big way. But with there not being an opportunity to fight and generate an income at that time, it just seemed like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to debut it in this big way, but at least if people are actually interested, I can start selling it now. And that's what's happened. And it just kind of took off. So I created an Instagram page for it. The website is actually, it'll be done this week, tiffanytimebomb.com/art. You can actually buy the paintings from the website. And yeah, that's, the idea was born years ago, but brought to life, in the last year and a half. And that's also a big, one of the big reasons of me staying here in Amsterdam, with it being such, such a city and a culture that really respects art. And there's so many museums here. And I figure this is the place to be to try to make something happen, as well as the kickboxing fans, right? So it's two things here that go together, and it just happens to be how I make my art. And with my name and my reputation as a champion, I thought, let's go for that. Let's go for it. Like, let's do this art thing.
Yeah. And like it says, if we're going to the heritage and certainly the history, kickboxing, fighting, blending in with art, Amsterdam, can't think of a better place. So yeah, I was just going to ask you that. So availability is on your website. You've got stuff up there that you're going to be able to see at the end of the week, yeah?
Yeah, the website will be done. But for now, I have the Instagram up and running. It's Tiffany Timebomb _art. And all of the paintings that are shown on the Instagram are for sale unless it says sold in the caption.
Yep, we'll get that thrown on the show notes, definitely. So jumping on to the fight, March 19th, Minaso Kobayashi at Glory 80, you're going to be fighting. Now, what I noticed, it's quite remarkable. It's going to be a champ versus champ. See these types of fights. Now, you've very much earned your reputation to be where you're at this moment. But are you looking for, because you've worked your way up, you've fought everybody, are you looking for these types of exciting and special fights for the foreseeable future? Or are you hoping to win this fight and then continue defending against all the newcomers that are coming up? But you're still looking to be motivated like that?
I mean, when you're the champ, you have an obligation and a responsibility. So whoever challenges, you have to accept that challenge and defend the title. I do really like the idea of champ versus champ from other organizations, because it creates a whole different kind of hype and excitement. And also with the cross promotion between organizations, I think it's good for the growth of the sport, because you're sharing fan bases. And the Japanese fans will get to see the Glory fighters, and the Glory fans will get to see the Japanese fighters. With Rise specifically with this fight, they've also teamed up with Infusion, which is another big promotion here in Europe. But yeah, I just, for me, I want to fight the best in the world. And all right, you're the champ over there, I'm the champ over here. Let's do it.
With class heads, exactly. Now, Kobayashi, see, when it comes to preparation, are you a videotape watcher? Do you like to watch a lot of footage and gain an idea what they're like? And if so, have you been looking at Kobayashi just now and you know what to expect?
I don't like to do too much watching because I get a little bit neurotic and obsessive. And I like to worry more about what I'm doing than what my opponent is doing. I'll watch a little bit of tape in the very beginning, just so my brain has an idea of what I'm working with, how she moves, see if there's any initial things that I notice right away without looking too closely. And I'll go off of that. And then again, midway through camp, maybe I need a little refresher. I'll take another peek, and then maybe a couple more times leading up to the fight other than that. But for the most part, I just let my coach handle it, because he's got those tiger eyes, he's sharp. So I let him do the watching and tells me what I need to do. We focus on what we need to do and then go in there and do it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a special fight. There's a lot of stuff, like we says, champ v champ. You're fighting in Europe, you're fighting in Belgium. Now, this is going to be Kobayashi's first fight outside of Japan, like ever. So she's getting brought to Europe of all places. She's going to be fighting Tiffany Timebomb. Do you think that this is going to add to the story? Because you're going to be welcoming her to the Mecca, certainly in martial arts, certainly in the kickboxing through in Holland. So do you think that's going to add to the story a little bit? It's going to be a bit of an eye-opener for her when it all comes together. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that and if you knew about that.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think it's going to be a night of firsts, right? It's her first time fighting out of Japan. It's the first time that Glory's doing this collaboration. It's the first fight of the collaboration. first time that it's champion versus champion. So I think it's a great opportunity. I'm really looking forward to it, and to add it to my list of firsts that I've kind of accumulated over the span of my career. You know, I was the first woman signed to Lion Fight Promotions and the first champ there, and the first 2 division champ there. Same thing with Glory. I was the first champ, the first women's champ at Glory, and to be the first fighter to have a bout with this new collaboration. Yeah, it's an honor.
Do you feel that the accolades, all the barriers that you've broken, do you feel that you're very much rated and respected in that sense? Like, do you feel like where you are, you get a lot of the recognition that you deserve? Do you feel that?
I think so, from the diehard fans who have been following for a long time, but from the general consensus, general media, general everything, not really so much. Just because kickboxing isn't so mainstream, and I don't know what it is. And I like to think I put on exciting fights. You know, if I'm not finishing fights, I'm doing amazing technical things, and maybe some of the fights just need to be watched in slow motion, because, you know, at the lighter weight classes, we are really, really fast, and it's kind of hard to catch those details and intricacies unless you're a really, really diehard, you know, fight nerd. But yeah, I mean, more recognition would be better. More eyes would be better, right? More hype would be better. And at this point in my career, it's kind of like, all right, I've been humble and I've been quiet, and I've done my thing for a really long time. And, you know, I'll always keep that as a part of me. But now I'm learning that closed mouths don't get fed, and the squeaky wheel does get the grease. So yeah, it's time to start speaking up a little bit more.
Yeah. And just based on your name, like, I know who you are. You're very popular. A lot of people do know you, but like up in where I'm based, up in Scotland, we've got a very prominent MMA scene coming up. We're getting a lot of fighters being well known. Kickboxing certainly there, but still not very much on the same level. So I'm hopeful with scrap chats and a lot of different things, we can get a lot of people from the Scottish audience onto Tiffany Time Bomb and learn more about you. So that's very much the agenda. Now, just jumping on to MMA, you've dabbled in MMA. You've not fought for a few years now for Invicta. Is that said and done? You got any plans to go back to MMA, or is that it?
At the time when I did dabble in MMA, I thought that was the route that I wanted to go because of the you know, obviously MMA fighters get paid more than kickboxers. It's more mainstream. But around that exact same time that I left Lion Fight, I got the opportunity with Glory. And I'd already been well established as a champion in striking through, you know, my time at Lion Fight. And then coming over to Glory was huge. And just, you know, being a name and established in Muay Thai, I didn't expect to just walk into MMA and have things handed to me. So I was working my way up from the bottom, you know, and the pay for that was less than what I was making in kickboxing. And so just, it made sense monetarily. It made sense for my body. You know, I wasn't going to risk. I found that I was getting more bumps and bruises and little nagging injuries through like the wrestling and jujitsu. I mean, I'd rather get punched in the face. It hurts a little bit less and for not as long. It was just a timing thing. And then as I continued to grow and in kickboxing and with Glory, MMA just kind of got a little bit further and further behind me. And now I feel like if I were to do MMA again, because of my accolades in Muay Thai and kickboxing, again, I don't expect to just come in and walk in on top, but I do expect a little bit of something, you know, a little bit more credit, because I feel like I have earned that through my time in Muay Thai and kickboxing. So, I mean, if there ever were to be an opportunity where all the stars aligned, it was, you know, the right payday, the right promotion, everybody agreed, then yeah, I would maybe do it once or twice more. I haven't done jujitsu or wrestling in a while. I mean, I joke around, like I'll put the gi on like twice a year, roll around maybe 4 or 5 times a year. But when I'm actually doing jujitsu and wrestling, I get pretty into it because I'm competitive. And I have a deep appreciation for it. But I'm just so fixated on striking. Like, it's not that obviously I like kickboxing and Muay Thai better because I'm better at it. I don't like that struggle, but I have a great appreciation and for jujitsu and wrestling.
Yeah, and it definitely shows, certainly over your past fights as well. So when we're talking about promotion, I mean, it's great to hear that you're still very much open to it. That's always good. It's great to see. I always yeah, exactly. Now, I always envisioned you, I don't know, just every time I associate with yourself, it's probably due to your background and a lot of stuff that you've done. A Tiffany time bomb and one championship would have been amazing. I think that you'd fit perfectly in there. Certainly, as we says, we know that there is ground games going on there, but I just think based on striking, I mean, Stamp Fairtex is one name that comes to mind when I'm thinking about strikers that have been able to go across and change the game in many ways. Have you ever had a little kind of fantasy vision of yourself being there, one championship?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just the way that it works out, I ended up staying with Glory because of this. We worked together on this cross promotional thing when it was time to start discussing the future and what was next. I said, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And they were able to make that happen. Mm-hmm. So we decided to go with that. And I know things with ONE FC, with them being in Singapore and the vaccine mandates and things with the pandemic are a little bit different and a little bit more strict. And things just didn't line up for me in that way. I think the money also with I don't know if it's just like with women's combat sports or whatever, that's always an issue too. So I'm still fighting for that. I'm never gonna be quiet about it until women get what we deserve when it comes to equal pay. Yeah. You guys can call me annoying, you can call me a complainer, you can call me this, that, whatever you want. I don't care. Nobody else is in the gym, other than us, ladies. We're in the gym working our asses off. We get in the ring, we put on exciting fights just like the guys do. And, I feel like, we deserve the same.
Couldn't agree more. And like we said, you're fighting for a lot more than certainly just fighting. Equality, money, a lot of different things. So not I fully advocate. I support that as well. And hopefully one day, whether it's the next batch of fighters or not, hopefully the work that you do along with many other of your peers are able to hopefully bring that to a good balance.
Yeah, and there was many women who came before me that were just as badass, if not more than me, And I know I'm making more than they did, but they were that starting point. They started moving it, and I'm starting to feel the same. Like maybe it's not my time to be that person, but maybe the work that I've done and that I'm doing in this time will move it further for the next generation of girls behind me. And I understand that's part of the process. It's slow and steady, but I'm going to keep leading the charge as much as I can while I'm still involved. And hopefully during my time while I'm still here, I do see the benefits of that also in my bank account.
Yeah, good. 100%. Jumping off a fight in a wee second. I first discovered you through fighting, but very closely linked was pottery. Now, how's your pottery? Are you still very much embedded within pottery? Are you still creating, finding a lot of inspirations for us? Is it still a very big part of your life?
It is. My writing process, I kind of go through spurts. I'll go months without writing anything. But then when I do start writing it, it floods. Then I'll go for a couple of months where I'm writing a lot. I'm always watching poetry. I'm always reading it a little bit. Hip hop is poetry. I'm always listening to hip hop. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's always in my mind. And it's something that I'll always do. It's something that I've always done, whether I'm being vocal about it, I'm posting it, or not, a lot of my poems too, I'll write and I'll just keep them and I won't do anything with them for a while. And then one day I'll decide to post it. So it's just, I don't know. I just don't force myself to do it too much. That way I think it just stays really natural, really organic. And that's when the best stuff comes out. So yeah, I mean, there could be another bout coming up where where I get that poetry bug again. But with the painting and that really has my attention right now. And I'm starting to incorporate my poetry into my artwork as well. So, I mean, be on the lookout for that.
I was just about to mention that it'd be cool to see a bit of a combination between the two. So that's awesome. That's already under your belt. You noticing your poetry changing? I mean, out with the combat sports world, certainly based on what I'm used to doing, it's pretty much music. And I've noticed over the years, depending on when you're songwriting or that, you're doing it for a reason. Sometimes it's a coping mechanism, sometimes it's organic. But I've noticed that over the years it kind of changes. Are you noticing changes from the mindset now from then, based on your approach?
Yeah, absolutely. There'd be times, like you said, coping mechanism. I'm feeling something. I don't know what to do with it. Let's just write it out and see how that makes me feel and see what comes out. Sometimes I do kind of feel a little pressure on myself. Hey, Tiff, you say you're a writer, you say you're a poet, why aren't you writing? And then I'll force myself to write also. So I don't know. Yeah, the mindset, I guess it changes, right? We're always ebbing and flowing and changing. So I just really, whatever my feeling is, whatever my environment is, whatever that is, I just try to rely on that and go with that. That kind of dictates my flow.
Yeah. Have you heard of a poet called Robert Burns from Scotland at all?
No, I haven't. I'm currently rereading a Namkara, but that's an Irish John O'Donoghue.
Yeah. I'll send you some links. Robert Burns, he's actually known very worldwide now. In Scotland, we've had it kind of not forced down our throats. It's a bad way to put it, but he's one of the world's most famous poets, and certainly based on a lot of stuff that he's written, certainly from Scotland and afar, maybe 200 years ago. If you're into poetry as well as recreationally, as well as doing it yourself, I'll send you some links. It would be really awesome for you to learn a bit more about the Scottish culture through poetry as well. So we'll send that to you.
Great, thank you.
No, it's all right. So moving on to the fight. So what are we expecting? Like, we've seen what you bring, the ferocity, the speed, the combinations. What could we expect this time at Glory 80 that perhaps we've not seen before? Because right now, you seem to be, as you said, locked into camp, but you seem like you've got this different mindset. As you spoke about with your attendance at media day, you're wearing the clothes you want to wear, you're feeling more expressive, you're feeling more content, you've got more of an agenda. What could we expect that we've not seen before from you at this next fight at Glory 80?
Man, I haven't knocked anyone out for a while. I haven't finished a fight for a while. And every fighter, when we go in, that's what we want to do, right? We want to get the job done early. We want to make more money. We want to make the crowd go, ooh, because I am so technical, I feel like I've gotten in my own way a little bit. I don't, if the opportunity is there, yeah, go for it, but I haven't really just gone into a fight where I'm like, okay, I'm going to knock her out. It's always like, if it's there, you'll see it, you'll find it, and it'll happen. And I never want to gas myself out trying for it, but, with this fight being such a big occasion and something historic, I mean, it would be fantastic to put a big stamp on it with a knockout. So, that's definitely what I'm trying to do. I'm tired of winning by decision. I think everybody else is tired of watching me win by decision. I know I'm super capable of knockouts. Early in my career, I had a good amount of finishes, and I would just like to get back to doing that.
I couldn't think of a better statement to make and a better way to end the episode. I really appreciate your time. I've been wanting to talk to you for a good while. Finally, we've managed to get it, certainly before things get really heated into camp. So I just want to say thank you, Tiffany Van Soest, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be tuning in, and we'll get all the links in the show notes for your new website and that. But all the best for camp, and we'll catch up soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Close.